It is our maiden voyage of something we are calling Meet the Bruins. I'm Josh Lewin, the voice of the Bruins for men's basketball and football. We already have three studs and stars to take us through what it's like being a Bruin. Nia Dennis from the gymnastics team is here. Bo Calvert from the football team is here. Natalie Chou from the women's basketball team. What have you learned during the quarantine and the pandemic here? How has your life changed for the better or the worse or the indifferent here?
My life has changed not too much. This quarantine has given me a lot of downtime, a lot of time to really recover and work on mental health and focus on my mental health so that I can be the best that I can be for this upcoming season.
Yeah, same as Nia. Like I had a lot of downtime, especially back home in Dallas. So I was really trying to pick up like cooking and learning how to cook because before this, I had no idea. I'm getting a little bit better, not really, but still working on it.
Who's on you to get you to be a better cook, and what exactly are you cooking?
My bank account is on me because I spent way too much money spending like at restaurants. So definitely that. And I just want to build great habits and be more self-sufficient, definitely.
Bo Calvert has to eat proportionately now and intelligently now because he's in the middle of a football season. Were you trying to gain weight or lose weight during the pandemic?
I think after every season, you try and get obviously bigger, faster, stronger. So, as a football player, I think you're always trying to gain weight. As far as muscle, I think the tough part for me was not being on a regimented workout schedule. So, having to understand what to eat and getting yourself into a routine again, like Nia and Natalie mentioned that you have a lot of free time, and as a student athlete you're used to kind of a regimented schedule. So being at home and in quarantine, you kind of had to learn self-discipline. I think that was the biggest thing for me.
I would think another adjustment, Bo, when you talk about, I would think any team, but certainly I know in football, you guys bond a lot of times during meals, right? I mean, you're eating together normally, and that's when you guys really get to know each other. That's not a thing this year, right? I mean, you guys are just kind of taking your box lunch and you're getting the heck out of there.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have a really good setup at the Wasserman facility. We have a really nice patio mezzanine area where usually we have, our meals that we're eating every day, three times a day, which, not a lot of other schools get, not a lot of football programs in the Pac-12 or across the country, for that fact, are able to get three meals a day, like you mentioned, catered in there. So that's a big thing that we're missing out on this year is being able to do that.
So, Nia, if you're a person who actually is from the Midwest, right? In Columbus, Ohio, born. You went to high school in Illinois, outside Chicago. Why UCLA? Why didn't you stay in the Midwest and do something there, or go east? What was it that got you to come to Westwood?
For me, the biggest thing was the weather. Being from the Midwest is always cold, and I had to get out of the cold for sure. But also a lot of network opportunities that are here presented to us at UCLA, which I really wanted to take advantage of and kind of help my career moving forward.
And Natalie, for you being from Plano, I spent a lot of time in Southlake, by the way, so I know exactly where you are. My son's at University of North Texas right now, so and I know you started out at Baylor. Why did you end up out here?
Yeah, for so many reasons. Like first, like academically, UCLA is the number one public institution in the nation, which is amazing. And secondly, I mean, the UCLA women's basketball program is just so amazing. It's like such a family atmosphere, and we really like develop the whole person, and I really appreciate that. And also, I just love the area. LA is like one of the best cities in the world, and I love to travel, I love to adventure, so it was a perfect fit for me.
And for those who don't know, Natalie's mom actually played for the Chinese national team. So you've already kind of got a little cosmopolitan flair to you. You've been to China, you've been to Europe. What are some of the other places? I mean, you've been to so many, but other than, of course, Westwood, what are some of your other favorite places you've been?
I loved Prague, and Czech, and then the past summer, no, last summer, I went to Barcelona, Spain, and honestly, like anywhere in Europe, I'm a fan of.
Bo, I know you travel a little bit back to Utah where you've got grandparents. I know that's not international, that's national, but kind of looks like the Swiss Alps out there if you time it right. Where else do you get to travel and where else have you been?
I haven't been too many places. I think the majority of my traveling in my childhood, at least, was for sports events. So, going locally in the West Coast area, I've been to Texas, Arizona, Oregon, just around locally for tournaments and stuff like that for basketball and football.
Do you guys count states? Do you all count how many states you've been in out of the 50? You starting to do a little check mark or no?
I think at this point, I've been to a good amount of states as far as now being here in college. I think in my total lifetime for sports specifically, I think I've traveled to at least like 20 states.
That's pretty good right now.
Yeah.
Nia, do you have a total? Have you kept track?
I used to keep track when I was growing up, but I definitely lost track now. But I would say a good 25.
Natalie, can you beat 25?
No, I like have a list of all the states I've been actually right here, and I'm 24. So,
Oh.
no.
All right. Well, if Nia can confirm, we were going to have to actually see some verification here, but got you by one, I believe. Bo, you mentioned not a lot of international travel yet, but I know you've got an international studies bent to what it is you're doing. What else are you majoring in?
My major is in international relations, and my minor is in entrepreneurship. So, one of the things that I'm trying to do with that, I'm really interested um, in real estate development and real estate sales. Being a real estate agent or construction management, those types of avenues really excite me, and that's something that I'm looking forward to working with the network here at UCLA, and trying to get my reach farther out of the Southern California area.
All right, you hear that, everybody? Anybody with an internship? It's Calvert. Bo Calvert is who you want to hook up with here. Nia, what about for you? Down the road, what else are you looking at in terms of the Nia Dennis story someday?
I'm definitely looking forward to getting into stunt doubling. I think it's really closely related to gymnastics. I think that would be really fun and exciting, and you do get to travel a lot, so that's a great opportunity for me. I want to try anything else in entertainment, acting, dancing, things like that.
And for those that don't know, Nia's already kind of been out there in that scene. You've had routines that have been retweeted by some pretty famous people. I mean, Jada Pinkett Smith and Steve Harvey and many others. So you're in that entertainment cachet already just from what you've done in gymnastics.
A lot of other celebrities retweeted and reached out to me, like Beyonce's mother actually reached out to me, which is like super huge for me. Ellen reached out to me, and I was actually on her show, which is super exciting, a great opportunity, and really kind of an inside look on what it would be like kind of in the entertainment world. And I really appreciated that opportunity.
What was it like going on set with Ellen? I mean, that's something
Everything
that's gotta
was,
be memorable.
it was so fast paced. Everything was quick, 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 by the book, by the script. Super exciting though. And I got to meet a lot of really cool people.
Natalie, who are some of the people you're proud to say you've had a chance to meet in your life?
I mean, we have some amazing alumni, especially like from the men's basketball program. So, like Kevin Love, Russell Westbrook always come by to Mel Austin to work out. So, I mean, we work out with them kind of. And growing up, I had my mentor was Jason Terry. He played on the Dallas Mavericks, and him and I have a really close relationship. So,
You wear a headband like he does?
absolutely not. No.
Well, what about you? I know a lot of times at football practice, it's like you do a double take sometimes. It's like, wait a minute, is that who I think that is? There's a lot of famous people that just kind of come by.
During the off season, there's a lot of professional football players that come back just because they have homes in LA or vacation homes and whatnot. So I think the biggest name in football that we've had there that comes for the last 2 years at least has been Tom Brady. So obviously the face of the NFL. I think that was an extremely humbling experience being able to meet him, and he actually worked out with some of our receivers. So that was really cool to see. Russell Wilson, our quarterbacks coach was his coach in college. And then you just go on the line, and every day there's a new guy, Odell Beckham Jr. or name the name, and they've been at the facility. So I think that's been really cool to see. You train every day to try and get in these guys' positions, and now seeing them on the same field that you work out in, makes it that much more real for you.
Is that a sales point? Should that be like on the top of a brochure if you're UCLA? Like, it's not only a beautiful campus, it's not only a great education, but you might meet Tom Brady if you come here.
Yeah, I mean, I think LA is the hub of the entertainment world and really of so many different avenues in business and sports. I think the craziest thing for me that I didn't realize was that you don't even have to go outside of your own practice facility to meet these people. These people are going to come to you, like you mentioned at practice. So many big names on an everyday basis. You'll be looking at the sideline to try and get a defensive call, and you're lining your guys up, and all of a sudden you look over and Russell Wilson's chopping it up with Chip Kelly, and it's just crazy to see that every day.
Natalie, just kind of going back to you for a minute in terms of bumping into famous people and whatnot. I know because of your basketball talent, you always going to gravitate to that. Who's your team? Are you a Mavs fan or no?
I'm not. I'm like a diehard Kawhi Leonard fan. So right now I'm a Clippers fan, which is yeah, right now a Clippers fan. But I love Greg Popovich, the head coach for the Spurs. He's my all-time fave.
And it's funny. I mean, you mentioned Popovich, and kind of a polarizing figure to some. But I would think this year, I mean, with social justice being what it is, and all of us now who I think can be correct-minded in that, it just seems like he's never shy, right, about putting himself out there. Is that part of why you like him?
Absolutely. That's one of the main things I admire about him. Like him and Steve Kerr are just like I feel like ahead of their time, and they're really using their voices for change. And as an athlete, I just really appreciate that, and I feel like they exemplify like leadership qualities that I really admire.
Nia, staying on that topic, I mean, this has been the year of social justice, and it's about time, basically. But it's just been such a flashpoint kind of a thing. How have you been affected? How has it changed your life, if at all?
Um, it's been really, it's been an emotional roller coaster, I would say. It's been a lot of high highs and a lot of lows. But I've been really grateful for this UCLA gymnastics team to be really supportive and really open minded about what's been going on, and a really safe space for us to open up and really shine light on social justice where in a time when it's like really important too.
Bo, I know the football team, you guys took the field opening night in Boulder, and you guys are wearing awesome positive messages for social justice on the backs of your uniforms, love and justice and unity and things like that. What a great thing for all you guys to do kind of in tandem.
Like Nia mentioned, just being able to have a coaching staff and a university that allows you to use your platform, for something, bigger than just the sport that you play. Um, you know, that's something that not a lot of schools have the opportunity to do, and not a lot of athletes in this day and age are able to use their voice freely. And we're able to do that here at UCLA.
I got to ask you all what shows you're binging right now, because one common denominator of the pandemic is we all have to watch a lot of TV or Netflix or Hulu or all of that. Nia, let's start with you. What's your go-to?
Currently I'm watching The 100 on Netflix. Also Family Guy. Can never go wrong with Family
No,
Guys.
you really can't. And Natalie, for you, what are your binge-worthy things?
Yeah, I've binge watched so many shows during quarantine. The ones that stick out are The Office and Stranger Things.
Recently, I just finished watching a new series that came out on Amazon Prime. It's called Yellowstone. It's basically like this cowboy mob kind of that owns this big ranch in Montana, and they sort of control the whole political landscape of the state. But it's really interesting.
What about what about movies? Bo, let's go to you. You've already kind of tipped your hand. You kind of like that action adventure western.
Nothing new, but I think my favorite movie of all time is Nacho Libre. I just think it's just a great movie you can watch really at any time.
I like a lot of action movies, so any Avengers movies or Transformers movies, I'm down to watch over and over again, even if they're 5 hours long.
Series, all like 10 plus movies of them, all of them I recommend.
A little bit earlier, we started talking a little bit about in the kitchen and what we're all eating during the pandemic. If you've got a guilty pleasure food where it's like, all right, if coach sees me eating this, I'm in trouble. I'm not suggesting you did eat this, but Nia,
The guilty pleasure is cheesecake, Oreo cheesecake from Cheesecake Factory. Can't miss.
Anything chocolate, chocolate cake, ice cream, that's my go-to.
Honestly, any type of ice cream, I'm a real sucker for. I can eat a whole gallon probably of ice cream in like 2 days, and it's got to be taken away from me. If you don't take it away from me, then I'm gonna finish the whole thing.
it's funny because all of you obviously you're here on athletic scholarships. You're athletic by nature, and some people. I mean, I'll put my hand in the air on this one. Only moderately athletic. I didn't have a scholarship, but I always wished like I could do what you do. What are some of the things that in a perfect world? I mean, you're a great athlete, Bo. You're super smart, for example. Are there other things, other talents that you maybe don't have yet that you want to get to, or even ones that you'll never have, but you're just kind of like, man, I wish I was whatever it is, musical, or I could be an architect, or whatever. Or what are things like that you look at?
I mean, growing up in Southern California, I always would go out surfing, but I was never really any good at it. I just enjoyed, being out there in the water. So, if I could really rip it up, down the line, I think that would be a really cool talent to have. But also, I just wish I was more musically inclined. I don't really know how to play any instruments or read any music, but I've always been interested in the guitar and how that is played and the skill that it takes to be able to do that.
No, like piano lessons as a kid, nothing like that.
I was playing t-ball back then. They didn't put me in piano.
I also wish that I was musically inclined. I wish I could sing. I have a younger sister. She's 11, and she can sing. She can play the piano. She's actress. She got it all. So I'm a little bit jealous of my lovely little sister because she can do it all. But I also wish I could roller skate better.
Back to your time in the Midwest, something you probably never even thought about, but then you come out here and you go to Santa Monica Pier and everybody's doing
Yeah,
something like that. You want to join in. I get it.
exactly.
Natalie, how about you on that one?
To be honest, I wish I was more athletic. On the court, I think I can finesse it a bit, and just like use my anticipation and stuff to cover it up. But off the court, I'm like always tripping. I'm always bumping into things. So I think more athletic off the court.
Well, you're already averaging 8 points a game. I don't understand. But since we mentioned music, and you don't have to be great at actually playing it, but when you listen to it, Bo, what's your go-to? Who are your bands, or what kind of music? Who are the best artists that you would put on your playlist?
Yeah, growing up, my dad played a lot of classic like rock. So I think Stevie Ray Vaughan is one that kind of jumps out at me. Just what he was able to do with the guitar and how he changed rock and roll and just his whole kind of his aura that he had and everything that about him was something I was just really interested from a young age. But I think classic rock is it's been a staple for me my whole life.
I can see your dad like putting some CCR on the stereo, the old stereo or something like that. Nia, what's your musical taste?
Um, I listen to a lot of old school R&B, smooth jazz kind of music. Growing up, I listened to a lot of New Edition, Michael Jackson, and I still listen to a lot of that now. Wishing there was more music like that now.
Yeah, no, you can't go wrong with that stuff. I agree.
I like really am into like alternative, like Coldplay, The Fray, Sum 41, like that kind of stuff.
So let me turn it a little bit serious towards the end here and get you back into the classroom. And Nia, I'll start with you. You've taken a lot of classes. You've obviously expanded your scope the best you can. If I had to pin you down, favorite class, one class, what's your one?
My favorite class would be Theater 20. We had to do Romeo and Juliet. It was incredibly hard trying to memorize all those lines in old English, but it was really fun. It helped me step out of my comfort zone and try something new.
Did you actually play the role of Juliet?
Of course not. Of course not. I'm not Juliet.
Oh, okay. Well, I knew it wasn't Romeo. I thought I'd throw out that maybe it was Juliet. Natalie, do you have a class that'll stick with you for years and years?
Yeah, definitely in my undergrad, sociology of mental illness. I mean, I feel like as athletes, we like have come to realize how important our mental health is. Like it's as important as our physical, and that class really helped me learn more about mental health.
That's a great answer.
Mhm.
Bo, best class for you?
My freshman year, one of my GE classes that I took was on the solar system, and it was actually by the same professor who just won the Nobel Prize here at UCLA. It was just really cool being able to go in there and kind of just have my mind blown every day about how complex, the universe around us is, and just like the intricacies that like I'll never be able to understand, but it's just so amazing, like how much stuff is really out there.
They're not paying me to say this, but it just dawns on me. Bo Calvert has now dropped on this particular episode the fact that he's gotten a chance to bump into Tom Brady and a Nobel Prize winner, right? I mean,
Yeah.
so that, I mean, to me, that's like the pamphlet, right? If you're trying to tell people why UCLA, I mean, where else do you get that, right?
Yeah, I can't think of another place.
What would you say you're hoping to gain from your years here at UCLA? What's the perfect modeling that you'll take out into the world where you can say, okay, I'm glad I got that down, whether through classwork or through social interaction, whatever. Who's the person that you're trying to be? What's the best version of Nia Dennis going forward?
I definitely want to keep working on communication skills. That's something I struggle with personally, but there's a lot of classes and opportunities and workshops that I could take here that can help better me and prepare me going into the real world. So that's something I want to keep focusing on and get better at.
Well, you're nailing this. I don't know how much better you expect to get, but Natalie, how about you? What's the best version of Natalie coming out of UCLA?
Definitely my head coach, Coach Corey Close, and also the rest of the coaching staff has definitely like impacted my time here. I view all of them as my mentors, and I'm just so grateful that they're so open to talk to me about my experiences and what my questions are.
Yeah, I think the best thing that I've learned, especially at UCLA, is being able to understand how to work as a team and understanding leadership dynamics within a program. As big as football, it's one of the bigger teams, in college sports. So all the different roles that people have to play, and how that works with everybody, and then obviously finding your leadership role in that, and rising to the top of a program is something that I think I bring coming out of UCLA.
There are people, though, out there, donors and alums, that are watching this here that do spend a lot of their time and effort and interest and let's face it, money to support what you guys are doing. So just kind of to give you the floor, Nia, so to speak, something you're familiar with, bars and floor. But if you could say something to those supporters, what would you say as we sign off?
I would just want to say thank you so much for endlessly supporting us.
Natalie, how about you?
I can't express how grateful I am for everything that the donors and the fans do for all the programs at UCLA. I know that my experience as a student athlete in college would have been anywhere near as cool and great and awesome as it is at UCLA. So I'm just so grateful for the opportunities and experiences that I'm able to have because of all of y'all's support.
I wouldn't have been able to have the same experiences I've had here at UCLA. Financially speaking, I wouldn't have been able to attend UCLA without the support of donors, and an alumni coming back on campus, and donating their time, and financial resources to be able to help me, earn a degree, and really have a launch pad into the rest of my entire life.
Well, all three of you are so successful already at your chosen craft, the various athletic pursuits that you've taken on. But it's just kind of cool to know that you're well rounded and you're appreciative, and that you took your time to do this. That tells me all I need to know, because it's not easy to get people out of their comfort zones to do stuff. But you guys put your hands in the air and said, I'm eager, or at least happy to do it. So thank you, Nia and Natalie and Bo. To all of you, thank you very much, and go Bruins.
Yeah, go Bruins.
Go Bruins.
Thanks.